Very big news just unfolded for the whole Yuzu Nintendo situation. So I just made a video 5 days ago talking about how Yuzu, the most popular Nintendo Switch emulator, just had Nintendo file a lawsuit on them, basically alleging that they were responsible for facilitating or at least enabling the playing of illegally downloaded Nintendo Switch ROMs, especially those that were leaked early. So the biggest example was the recent Legend of Zelda game that was leaked 2 weeks early. And so like I said, yeah, I just made a video 5 days ago about this. It literally just happened. And so as these things go, right, court proceedings are a very slow process. So I'll see you in like 3 or 4 months for the next minor update to the court case, right? Yeah, no, wrong. This just broke 4 hours ago. Yuzu just announced that they settled on the lawsuit for $2.4 million. And that's not even the biggest part. They are discontinuing their support of the emulator Yuzu, as well as the emulator Citra, which is actually a 3DS emulator. That is the biggest 3DS emulator. It is the most popular, and I actually did not know that Tropic Haze, which I should have said Tropic Haze is the group responsible for Yuzu. I did not know that Tropic Haze was also responsible for the development and support of Citra. So that is kind of new to me, but yeah, it just broke 4 hours ago. They are completely discontinuing their support of Yuzu and Citra, which, like I said, are respectively the most popular Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 3DS emulators online. They made a tweet basically saying that they are completely against piracy and that Yuzu and Citra were not ever intended to support the use of piracy of Nintendo games, which, I mean, I don't know, who knows how much truth there is to that. And they didn't really mention the actual lawsuit in the tweet, but they just basically kind of vaguely said that because of all of this recent piracy, they are completely discontinuing their support of Citra and Yuzu. They said, effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. Like I said, they didn't mention the lawsuit, but I mean, it's very clear that this is a direct result of the settlement of that lawsuit. Obviously, they felt a ton of pressure from Nintendo, so they folded, they shut down. This is huge news for the emulation community for Nintendo, and overall very bad news and sad news for this emulation community. Yeah, it's very surprising that this all concluded so fast, like in less than a week. I think we were kind of all expecting this to take like at least a year, probably more. And I don't know, it really is too bad. I got a lot of comments on the video I made 5 days ago about Yuzu. A lot of very interesting, informative comments. A lot of people basically supporting Yuzu and saying that, hey, them as an emulator, they are not responsible for this piracy because emulation by itself is not illegal. What is actually illegal is illegally downloading ROMs. A lot of people pointed out in the comment section that you can use emulators in a completely legal way. And yeah, it's a very good point. But yeah, Nintendo was putting a lot of pressure on them. Like I said, basically saying that they were responsible for enabling this sort of piracy. So ultimately, Nintendo won this battle. And now I'm seeing a lot of people kind of talk about what will this result in going forward. So all eyes are now kind of looking towards the next popular Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 3DS emulators. One article I read talked about probably the second most popular Switch emulator called Ryujinx, I think is how you pronounce it. And of course, there are other 3DS emulators out there besides Citra. So as much as this is now going to bring a lot of people towards those emulators, now that people don't have the better options of Yuzu and Citra, we're left now to wonder, you know, are these other Nintendo emulators, are they now at risk of getting shut down? The future is definitely unclear, as Nintendo is just always very protective of their IPs. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with the other Nintendo emulators. But overall, very, very big news today for Nintendo emulation. I would have to say very sad news. I don't know what this implies going forward, but it's definitely not implying very good stuff for emulation. It definitely sends a message, at least from Nintendo, that they will take action to shut down emulators of their consoles, whether people like it or not.